Hey everybody, it's Chris. Welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Here on this channel, I like to drink craft beer, I like to review craft beer, and I don't like to pay a whole lot of money doing it. So the beers that I review here usually come in around the $2 price range, and such is the case with today's selection. I paid $2.29 for this 12-ounce can of Call Me Ginger blonde ale brewed with ginger and lemon from Mother Earth Brewing. And they are out of California. Let me see what, yeah, Vista, California. Yeah, I knew that they were a California brewer. But yeah, here it is. You can see, there we go. There's a sexy gal ginger right up there. You can see tasting notes with zesty citrus, it's crisp and refreshing ale with naturally flavor added. Um, this has a 4.8 percent ABV. Typically, blondes come in between 3.8 and 5.5, so it's well within range. It has 21 IBUs. Blondes usually come in between 15 and 28 um, IBUs. Something honestly just occurred to me. The fact that this is a blonde ale, and I get it that, ginger, redhead, and they put ginger into it, but nonetheless, I do think it's kind of funny that they've got a redhead on the can for a blonde ale. Um, Probably not as funny as I'm making it. And you're probably thinking, God, what a geek. And you're absolutely right. I am a geek. Um, this beer is 4.5 months old, so it's still very fresh. One more thing I want to show you on this can. See right here next to the QRC. I'm getting my finger. There we go. Right there. Independent Craft Brewers Association. So that's what you're looking for. And that's not to say that every independent brewer is going to have that label on it, but if you see that logo, then you know that you're dealing with an actual independent craft brewer. So bear that in mind. Okay, this beer has crystal hops. The malt is comprised of two-row and flaked wheat. Looking at the reviewing community, I think this is a fairly new beer, gang, because I have 0 friends on Untappd who've reviewed it. Only 3 people have reviewed it total, giving it a 2.5, so that's not a particularly high score. It scored a 3.5 among the 11 people who reviewed it on Beer Advocate, and on Beer Advocate scale, that's a good. So, I don't know, we're just going to have to see how this is. If you're not familiar with Mother Earth Brewing, they do have a cream ale that they call Cali Creaming. Good stuff, really good stuff, and you should definitely check that out, especially if, like me, you're interested in the concept of beer cocktails. I think Cali Creaming would be, it lends itself perfectly to beer cocktails. Okay, let's see how this pours. Using my St. Archer pint glass. This pint glass was a wedding gift from my friend Steve at Total Wine. If you're ever here in Vegas on the west end of the valley, go check out Total Wine at Boca Park. Ask for Steve, he's the beer guy, very knowledgeable, very friendly guy. All right, put that up there. You are seeing, oh, I'd say only one shade darker than the actual color itself, so pretty close to the color. Lots and lots of carbonation on this. Those bubbles are dissipating very quickly. This is a very, very flimsy head, but high carbonation. I'm already smelling a bit of fruitiness and actually kind of booziness. So I'm gonna do a quick beard wipe, and I don't smell anything different than I did before, the booze or the fruitiness. Put my schnoz right into the glass, see what we can come up with. Okay, now the ginger is definitely coming through. I smell big time ginger. In fact, that's all I smell now. The booziness, the fruitiness that originally came from the can being first opened and the air hitting it. Now, once the nucleation starts, it's pretty much all I smell is ginger. And I do smell a little bit of the lemon. Okay, now it's coming through a little bit of the lemon because this is flavored with, yeah, with ginger and lemon. So, anyway, that's the bouquet, lemon and ginger. Continues, yeah, lemon and ginger mostly. Okay, so I'm gonna quit yapping my flap and get to drinking. Cheers. Okay, I'm gonna describe that as a actually medium low mouthfeel. There's not a whole lot to it, even though the ginger is there. Uh, hmm. I've never been a big fan of blonde ales, and this is not gonna bring me to the movement. Um, You can taste the ginger. You can taste the lemon. Um, but it's kind of thin and watery. I mean, that's probably that's my problem with blondes most of the time is that they're thin and watery. At least they appear that way to me. Uh, Boy, I'm just not sure what to make of this beer. If the ginger flavor were stronger, I'd say okay, it's a good ginger beer. Um, but I've had ginger beers, non-alcoholic ginger beers, which are better than that. I'd say Crab's non-alcoholic ginger beer. If you're just gonna crack open a can of ginger beer or a bottle, grab one of those. Like I said, I like Mother Earth Brew Company, but I'm not crazy about this beer, and frankly, I'm not crazy about the fact that I paid more than $2 for a beer that turns out to be thin and watery. Yeah, guys, if you've never tried Mother Earth Brewings before, try the Cali Creaming, try the Kismet IPA. Um, don't start with this. This is not a great beer, and despite, as I said, only 3 people had reviewed it on Untapped, giving it a 2.5. I'm here to tell you when that number increases by 100 to like 300, um, I don't think the score is going to be a whole lot more than that. This is not a great beer. It's not a bad beer, but it's not a great beer by any stretch of the imagination. And frankly, I think there's much better beers out there, especially if you're going to, pardon, especially if you're going to break the $2 price range. But I tell you what, guys, if you did like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.